I see you. You wake up early, sit in traffic, and grind it out for 40, 50, or 60 hours a week. You read financial articles, binge YouTube videos, and maybe even keep a budgeting app on your phone. You know the basic math: spend less than you make and invest the difference. You know you need to build wealth. But let's be brutally honest for a second. Look at your bank account. Look at your investment portfolio. Why are you still spinning your wheels? Why does that dream of financial freedom still feel like a mirage on the horizon? After all your hard work and all the information on the internet, why are you still just one emergency away from total financial disaster? Most folks blame the system. They blame the economy, inflation, politicians, or the fact that they didn't get a lucky stock tip. They want a magic formula. They're looking for a secret algorithm that will double their money by next Tuesday, but I'm going to stop you right there. Today, you are going to face the hard truth. And this truth comes from one of the most brilliant financial minds of the last century, Charlie Munger. You probably know him as Warren Buffett's legendary business partner, the architectural genius behind the Berkshire Hathaway empire. Whenever people got close to Charlie, they always asked the same question: how can I be as smart as you? How can I get rich? And Charlie's answer was never what they wanted to hear. He wouldn't give them a stock ticker. He wouldn't hand over a complex derivative formula. He gave them a jarring dose of reality. He told them their biggest enemy wasn't the stock market. Their biggest enemy was the person staring right back at them in the mirror. What I'm about to share with you isn't some motivational pep talk. This is a mental reprogramming. It's a financial download designed to rip out the illusions modern society has fed you. If you're trapped in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, if market crashes paralyze you, or if you're drowning in consumer debt, listen very closely. This is your survival blueprint. Let's start with a concept Charlie Munger absolutely loved, a mental model called inversion. Inversion means looking at a problem backward. Instead of asking, how do I become a great investor and get incredibly wealthy? Charlie would ask, how do I become a terrible investor and make absolutely sure I die flat broke? Sounds weird, right? But think about it. If you want to know how to save a pilot's life, you don't study how to fly a plane perfectly. You study what causes planes to crash, and then you just avoid doing those things. So how do you guarantee financial ruin? How do you make absolutely sure you stay poor forever? First, you max out your credit cards, buying stuff that loses value the second you swipe. Second, you give in to every impulse buy that marketing algorithms shove onto your screen. Third, you invest in things you don't understand at all just because your neighbor is making money. And fourth, the second the stock market shows a red downward arrow, you panic and sell everything. Look at the modern world around you. Look at the average consumer's desk. It's full of maxed out credit cards, impulse buy receipts, and luxury keychains attached to empty wallets. Charlie Munger calls this the Lollapalooza Effect. It's what happens when multiple psychological tendencies combine to create a disastrous outcome. Society has programmed you to consume. The system wants you in debt. It wants you swiping that plastic card for a quick dopamine hit. You see an ad, you feel an urge, and you buy it. Don't have the cash? No problem. Put it on credit with a 25% interest rate. You are literally mortgaging your future to buy a piece of plastic today. Why do we do this? Why do smart, hardworking people make such incredibly stupid financial decisions? It all boils down to ego and envy. Charlie Munger famously said that envy is the stupidest of the deadly sins. Why? Because it's the only one you can't have any fun with. Gluttony is fun for a little while. Lust has its moments. But envy? Envy is just pure misery. You look at your neighbor, your coworker, or an influencer on social media. They have a new car, a bigger house, a designer watch, and you think, I work just as hard as they do. I deserve that too. So you go into debt just to look rich on the outside. You play the game of keeping up with the Joneses. Let me tell you a little secret about those show-off neighbors of yours. They are actually broke. They are drowning in debt exactly like you. When you buy luxury items to impress people you don't even like, you are playing a losing game. You are building a fake image of wealth on the outside while destroying your true net worth on the inside. That Gucci keychain next to an empty wallet is the ultimate symbol of the modern consumer. You look rich on the outside, but you are bleeding out on the inside. Real wealth isn't what you see. Real wealth is what you don't see. It's the money not spent on that luxury car. It's the investments quietly compounding in an index fund. It's the peace of mind knowing that even if you lost your job tomorrow, you could survive for 5 years without breaking a sweat. Wealth means options. Wealth means freedom. Showing off is the fastest way to destroy both. Now let's talk about the markets. Let's talk about that terrifying red arrow on your finance app. What does the average investor do when the market crashes? They panic. They let the fear centers of their brain take over. They read the headlines screaming that the world is ending, watch their portfolio drop 20%, and they sell. Because the psychological pain of seeing those numbers drop is unbearable, they lock in their losses by selling at the exact bottom. Charlie Munger had a very blunt perspective on this. He used to say, if you can't stomach a 50% decline in market prices 2 or 3 times a century with equanimity, you're not fit to be a common shareholder, and you deserve the mediocre result you're going to get. Let those words burn into your mind. You deserve the mediocre result. Investing isn't about having a genius-level IQ. It's about temperament. It's about emotional control. The stock market is a highly efficient vehicle for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. When the market is bleeding, the rational investor doesn't panic. The rational investor sees a discount. They see great businesses selling for cheaper than what they are actually worth. But you can't be a rational investor if you're crippled by debt and operating from a scarcity mindset. If you need that money to pay off your maxed out credit card next month, you are going to panic. You have zero margin of safety. That's how the Lollapalooza effect destroys you. Your bad personal finance habits force you to make terrible investment decisions. So how do you escape this trap? How do you stop staying poor and start building real wealth? You have to ruthlessly apply Charlie Munger's wisdom. Stop trying to be a genius and just focus on consistently avoiding stupidity. Rule number 1, stop the bleeding. Cut up the credit cards if you can't pay them off in full every single month. Stop the impulse buying. Right before you buy something you absolutely don't need, ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to financial freedom or pushing me further into chains? Rule number 2, know your circle of competence. Munger always stressed the importance of knowing what you don't know. You don't need to figure out complex crypto algorithms, you don't need to trade options, and you don't need to predict macroeconomic trends. You just need to find a few simple, understandable businesses or a broad index fund and hold on to them tight. If you don't understand how a company makes money, don't put your hard-earned cash into it. The size of your circle of competence isn't that important, but knowing its boundaries is a financial matter of life and death. Rule number 3, harness the power of compounding. Charlie Munger lived to be 99 years old. Warren Buffett is in his 90s. Do you know why they are billionaires? Yes, they are smart. Yes, they made good decisions, but the real secret is time. Charlie used to say his life was like a snowball rolling down a very long hill. The secret isn't how hard you pack the snow or how fast you push it. The secret is the length of the hill. You have to start early and just let it roll. If you invest a small amount of money every month and never touch it, the math gets mind-boggling. For the first few years, it feels like nothing is happening. You look at your account and think, why am I sacrificing my current lifestyle for this? This is where the weak give up. This is where the impatient pull the money out to buy a car. But if you hold on, the snowball gets bigger. It starts picking up more snow with every turn. Your interest starts earning interest. Eventually, that snowball becomes an avalanche, but you must have the discipline to let it roll. Like Munger said, the first rule of compounding, never interrupt it unnecessarily. Rule number 4, develop an inner scorecard. This is maybe the most important psychological shift you have to make. Society grades you on an outer scorecard. It judges you by your title, your zip code, and the logo on your shirt. If you live your life trying to satisfy the outer scorecard, you will forever be a slave to other people's opinions. You need to develop an inner scorecard. You must judge yourself by your own standards of honesty, discipline, and rationality. Are you acting according to your own principles? Can you make sound financial decisions regardless of what the crowd is doing? When you operate with an inner scorecard, envy disappears. The need to show off evaporates. You become immune to the manipulations of the consumer economy. Finally, you have to invest in the one asset you completely control: yourself. Before you buy a single stock, before you worry about inflation or the Federal Reserve, you have to increase your own earning power. Read constantly. Charlie Munger was famously described as a book with a couple of legs sticking out. He believed you couldn't be a truly successful investor or a successful person without being a continuous learning machine. Read history, read psychology, read biology, understand how the world works. Become so undeniably competent in your profession that society has no choice but to pay you well. Your skills are the ultimate hedge against inflation. Your rational mind is your ultimate shield against a market crash. The hard truth is this: no one is coming to save you. There is no magic pill. There is no secret formula. There is only discipline. There is only rationality. There is only the slow, boring, relentless application of common sense in a world that has gone completely crazy. Stop playing the fool's game. Stop maxing out the cards. Stop panicking. Put the ego aside. Stop caring what everyone else thinks and start rolling your snowball down the hill. The path to wealth is not a secret. It's a choice. And it's a choice you have to make every single day. If you got any value out of this video, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to Smart Investing Wisdom and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. I really appreciate your support. Stay rational, and I'll see you in the next one.